Your sixth graders. Mr. Hahn coming to you live from Cross Lutheran School. You can see Fred off in the background there. I believe that's Mrs. Stone's guy. See him back here? I am going to share my screen. You are going to find your notes under decimals, and we are going to have a fun, not very long lesson using those decimals. So here we go. Let me fire up my screen here and grab something new. Maybe make this a little bit bigger. And this is what we're talking about. A little bit of decimal action here. Decimals. And the little subheading under decimals is, I think I need to do some work here. Let me mix something up here a little bit. Maybe that'll work a little bit better. Under decimals, we are basically today changing fractions to decimals. Changing fractions to decimals. Now, it's real easy since we talked about decimals being in decimals are great to work with fractions as long as the fractions are in tenths or hundredths. For example, if you have 3/10, to change that to a decimal, it is simply 3/10, not very hard. Or if you had 17/100, that's pretty simple because it's 17/100. Those are easy. But the problem comes in when we don't have those. For example, if the directions said to convert 3/4 to a decimal. Okay, and that you can't, because it's not over 100. You don't just put 0.34. I see that sometimes with kids. They just like to throw numbers down there. To convert 3/4 to a decimal, you just have to remember that really a fraction is nothing more than a division problem. It's nothing more than division. So if you have 3/4, what it is 3 being divided by 4. It's important to keep those straight. It is 3 being divided by 4. The numerator goes inside here and the denominator goes on the outside. And the reason that makes it a decimal is because we have to put a decimal and we have to keep working that problem out till it actually works out evenly. We can't have remainders, we can't have fractions. So everybody knows when you divide by a decimal, we bring the decimal up. 4 doesn't go into 3, but 4 does go into 37 times. That's 28. We subtract and we bring down, and 4 goes into 20 nice even 5 times. So 3/4 as a decimal is 0.75, which, if you think about it, in terms of money, 3/4 of a dollar or 3/4 is 75 cents. So notice how nicely that works out. Let's look at a couple more. What if you had 7/20? Okay, what is the decimal for that? Again, go off to the side. Remember, it is 7 being divided by 20. 7 being divided by 20. Put your decimal at the end of 7. We're going to add zeros until it works out. So the decimal goes up here. 20 does not go into 7. 20 goes into 73 times, which is 60. And then 20 goes into 100 5 times. So my decimal equivalent, 7/20, is 0.35 or 0.35, however you want that to work. So now you're asking yourself, what if it's a mixed number? Well, if you have this 7 2/5, and the book asks you to make that a decimal number, well, you've got the whole number 7. We just need to figure out what 2/5 is as a decimal. And again, we already know how to do that. We divide 2 is getting divided by the 5. Remember the numerator divided by the denominator. I put my decimal. Oh, this one's nice because 5 goes into 20 right off the bat. It's just 0.4. So 7 2/5 is 7.4. And it's really just that easy. Let me look and see if there's anything harder. Maybe a couple more. 7 over 25. I wonder if this one works out. I don't know. Let's see. So we are taking 7 underneath, and it is being divided by 25. Now we have to be careful here. Bring up the decimal. 25 doesn't go into 7, but it does go into 70. Add a couple of zeros there. Oh, sorry. I put the zeros in the wrong. Let's get back there. So if I put a 0 here, 25 does go into 70 twice, which is 50. Subtract, bring down another 0. And 25 goes into 200. Take my word for it, 8 times. So the decimal equivalent here for 7/25 is 0.28. They will be asking you to use a calculator. If it asks you to use a calculator, you can just kind of skip that problem, since at this point in time, Mr. Hahn sees no reason for 6th graders to use calculators. We will eventually. They do come in handy a little later on, but for right now, the best calculator you can use is that noggin that the good Lord gave you. So we're going to count on that. And that, boys and girls, pretty much finishes up. It's pretty quick. Sometimes it's easy for kids to forget it, but it is quick. So thank you, 6th grade. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Goodbye.